Right, we're going to put a zip in. Ta-da! Oh, for once in my life, everything's where it's supposed to be. So this is the zipper foot for my machine. These are the shanks that the foot fits into. You can see that it's kind of divided into two, so you can choose to have it on the left or on the right. So we're just going to pop the straight stitch foot away, and we're going to change our foot. Do you know, until I sew, I can't work out which side I want. We may come back and change that. So you've got your zip, lovely quality zip, and you want your, cut one on the fold, that's the back. You want your two fronts. Right, now they're opposites, so if we take the pattern piece away, we open it up, we've got two pieces, and the zip is what joins them together. So starting with the left hand side, what we're going to do is this zip is going to sit under here. So we need to turn in this raw edge, and this is a really easy way to do a zip. We're keeping it basic for now, and we'll go on to doing invisible zips and different ways of putting things in. So just turn the side that the zip's going on to your machine, flip it over, and just turn in about that much, which is about the same width of the zip if you had it like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to position this so that, see the little stopper on the zip here? We're just going to put the waist edge just above it, and we're lining up the fold just to cover the zip. So there's the zip teeth here, and we're just putting it on just to cover it up. You will probably want to yep, see, I've got to change my size. You'll want to pin yours or tack it if you're unsure. It moves about a bit, but I'm just going to go for it. So we're going to put that end in the machine, and with the zipper foot, what the zipper foot allows us to do is get right up close to the zip, and all we're going to do is keeping that fold folded and just across the teeth. We're going to sew up. Now stop, because you are not ever in your life going to get that over this zipper pull. So needle down, lift up your foot, open the zip, wiggle it past, she says, wiggle it past your sewing, and it'll open up. Back on track, foot back down, and we're going to carry on. And that is that. So we have one half of our zip in, whoop, up to the top. Okay, so that's one half of our zip. So the next side is exactly the same, except for the other side. Doesn't make any sense in English what I just said. I do apologise. Just check my threads. Now, for the other side, oh, Brian's off again. For the other side, fold over the edge again, like so, and line up with the bottom there. You see that I've just got this straight across here. Now this time I'm going to want the opposite side of my foot. Just let it click in. There we go, threads out the back. And what we're going to do here is the opposite. what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop mine in and then get it all organised. Pop it all in, and we're just going to sew up. And then we're going to get to this point again where we need to move this. So needle down, foot up. Am I going to get it past? Oh, rats. Yeah, go on. Go on. Yeah, done it. Right. Swivel it back round to where it's supposed to be. Carry on. You've done it. Now, if that is your first zip, well done to you. Zips are hard. So what we've got is we've got it fairly well lined up at the bottom. Pleased with that. And we've got it lined up at the top. Now, if you've cut it right, you should have about a centimetre here before you hit the puller. That will come in useful when we attach the hood to the body, which is possibly one of the most asked about techniques for this costume. Incidentally, I'm just going to pop back to my straight stitch foot. Right, so when can you use this technique? Okay, so other dolly patterns that include a zip are unicorn, giraffe, dragon. There's quite a few actually, so mastering that, you know, will extend your fun. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to get one piece of the legs. So here's our little legs, this is our crotch, and this is our waist. So what we're going to do is just fold it in half across the waist, and we're going to sew the waistline of the trousers to the top. So I just want to line that halfway crease up there, because depending on how much you fold in for your zip, you may be a bit short on one side or the other. And I am, look, I'm short there and I'm short there. So by folding it in half and popping it on the zip, you know you're going to get the crotch in the middle. Oh, Brian's back. Hello. Yes, everybody says hello. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to right sides together from the back, and we're going to sew, make sure this zip seam is flat. Right, when you get to the zip, if you have the fear, you can sew over it. If it's a metal zip, I don't recommend it. But if you have the fear, stop your machine, take your foot away from the pedal, and just advance the machine by using the hand wheel as you go over the actual zip teeth. Plastic zip, you should be okay. We have a friend. Brian. Brian, you Burke. Right, excuse me, cat. Right, thank you. Say hello, everybody. Bye-bye. Right. Sorry for that word from our sponsor. And then you just carry on. Okay, so that's the front join to the back. We're going to do exactly the same to the back piece and the other set of legs at the waistband. But obviously what we don't need to do is worry about the zip this time. Still fold it in half. Still folding it in half. So here's my back piece folded in half. That's the centre line there. Keep an eye where that is. Got my centre line of my trousers. Pop those together. And sew across those two as well. So we're really coming together now. We've got our front sewn to our zip and our back sewn to our waistline. What do you think we should do next? Well, it's going to be putting the two together. So what we're going to do is pop the part with the zip face up, pop your back face down, and there's our collar line. And what we're going to do is we are going to sew down from the collar line to the wrist on both sides. My pattern pieces are rustling everywhere. You need to go backwards here. There will be quite a lot of stress on that joint as we sew the hood in. You don't want it to come apart. And also at the wrist, we want it to stay nice and firmly together so we can do our hemming our cuffs, our wrists. So I've just flipped over and doing exactly the same on the other shoulder. Back tack at the wrist. Okay, so now we've got our back and our front joined there. We're going to go under the arms. So now we're going to join the underarm seam. We're going to go from the wrist to the past the armpit, I suppose you call it. There's nothing more glamorous to call it. It's an armpit. So when you get to this line, you just want to advance about your seam allowance distance past, about there. Pop your needle down, lift up your foot. Right, we're going to go down to the ankle now, but where I did my zip, I used too much in the fold, so I'm a bit short on this side. Ignore it. What you want to do is you want to sew down, look where the bottom is, and you just want to chamfer that out. So we're going out at an angle to meet up with our original seam allowance, which is the edge of our foot, and a back tack down at the ankle. So that essentially, you can see how I've evened that out. So all I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get a bit scissor happy, and I'm just going to trim that off. Now for the underarms, these won't turn out very nicely unless we chop them up. So if you could do a slit there, you can suddenly see that that now makes a hinge. Lovely, happy times. So we're going to do the same on the opposite. Threads to the back. That's the edge of our work. We're going to extend past that by the amount of our seam allowance. Needle down, foot up, swivel it round, and again I'm going to have to make a little adjustment by eye. See, this is why Dolly's brilliant, because if you were making a onesie for yourself, that'd be a pretty critical thing. But because it's Dolly, it don't matter. And again, I'm just going to have to take out that. Now, if you didn't know that I'd done that, you would think that that was absolutely immaculate cutting, pattern cutting. But we both know that, well, I made a bit of a mistake and everything turns out all right in the end. Now, we're going to do Dolly's inside leg. So we're just going to match up the inside leg at the ankle. We're going to get under the machine. Back tack, really important there. Right, extend past the where the the inside legs meet. I've got a thread there somewhere. Let's try and trim that off. Yeah, sorry. So extend past by your seam allowance. Lift the foot, swivel the work, put the foot back down again. Needle stays in the work. And we've done that. Brilliant. Now, the same with the crotch. It's not going to give a very good pivot. So we're going to operate on Dolly. Crikey, that could be painful. And now that we've made that slight slit there, we've got a much wider range of movement. Don't cut through the ujimi flips. Now, I'm going to come back to the neckline. What I want you to do is just spend a few minutes just trimming off any excess threads you've got. Don't let them languish on the floor. You'll get them wrapped around your hoover, the wheels on your chair if you have them, and they are quite a big danger to our animals. So there we go. Make yourself a thread catcher or have the waste paper basket right by you. Now we are going to do the fun part. So if you just open your zip and turn Dolly's bunny costume the right way out, we are going to attach the hood.